An update on the Star Wars REY movie. According to Daisy Ridley, who recently was doing press for her movie Young Woman and the Sea, which I forced Alan to go see, this came up. And I have 2 videos. I don't know if we're going to watch all of them, but she talks about it. Let me okay.
Yeah.
Let's no, I got it. And let's take a look at this here.
Wars.
This is the response to The Rise of Skywalker. This is a 3-minute video. It's Daisy Ridley talking about the reaction to The Rise of Skywalker was not great. This is on Josh Horowitz's podcast, Happy, Sad, Confused. Let's take a look at this clip. Alan, you know what to do.
Yes.
Here we go. I may pause it here and there. So here we go.
We'll talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Before we look ahead, which I know we can't say much anyway because there's not much to say, but we never really had a little postmortem on Rise of Skywalker. So if you'll indulge me,
Sure.
I feel like we could have this conversation after each one of those 3 films.
Okay.
Divisive, to say the least.
Yeah.
You were feeling very confident. Everybody felt very JJ was confident. Were you surprised by how divisive it was?
Let me say this. I like Daisy Ridley. I think she is a professional. You've not seen any quotes of her saying things that would rile up fans or even disparage fans. She recognizes their passion and she stays out of it. And I think she has a realistic view of that trilogy, and she is a pro. She does her job. And I actually think she's a decent actress that was the victim of a poorly written trilogy. Any thoughts on that, Alan, before she responds?
No. I'm curious what she's going to say, but yeah.
But
actors don't like their lines.
She deserves no hate from fans. She came in, she did a job, she has her own thoughts, and there you go. So I think she's well cast. She was poorly written character. Very poorly written. Continuing.
The reception to it? Or in your heart of hearts?
Was I surprised?
Yeah.
I think it's still upsetting because you don't want people to feel like you've not served the thing that they're a fan of. But Ryan's one was so divisive.
You think?
So yeah, so it really felt like the first one was fairly, everyone was responsive in a similar way.
This works, thank God.
Yeah.
How did it happen?
And then Ryan's one, super divisive. And then the last one, super divisive. Yeah, it was still, yeah.
Well, it probably makes it bittersweet because you're saying goodbye to this amazing period in your life. And you want to go.
It didn't change how I felt about it.
Right. You had the experience. You love these people.
And what was strange is literally before I had breakfast with Kathy last year, I had already been on set because we were making Magpie right after Sundance. And I had 5 people come up to me and go, are they going to do any more with you? And it was really strange. In the sort of 6 to 8 months before that, the way with which I was being greeted by people's response to it was quite different than it had been. Right. And I think just time had passed and it didn't feel so immediate.
It was, yeah.
And so that was what was really strange because people were talking to me about it. I was like, no, I don't think so. I don't think so now.
Yeah.
And then it happened.
The one specific thing I wanted to ask about for the Rise of Skywalker, where were you at on the kiss moment? Were you this is going to work or are we really doing this?
Well, we did one without.
Yeah.
Where was I with it?
And do you remember where Adam was? Was everybody in sync? Okay, or we're just going to try this. If it works in the edit, great.
Adam had to rap and literally got up from that scene, which was so emotional and everything. Was like, bye guys, I'm going to New York. So that was.
Yeah, he literally kissed you off. But
yeah, he was like, see you later. Yeah. I felt it felt earned.
Yeah.
And what was interesting, again, I think it's intentionality my feeling in that moment was it was a goodbye.
Yeah.
So that felt earned, because I mean, you could call a kiss 1,000 things, but I felt like it was a goodbye. And that whole scene felt so emotional. And I felt like I was saying goodbye to the job. And, and then actually we had to pick up something that was missed. So on my very, very, very last, in fact, no one knows this, on my very, very, very last day, and we were doing various pickups and stuff, I had to literally sit and look, and the camera was like coming away from me, and I would guess I was looking at him. And JJ was like, "You good?" Literally immediately started like crying my eyes out, because it really felt like goodbye. Yeah. And then I did such an embarrassing rap speech. I mean, someone's recorded it somewhere, like just so embarrassing and
just unintelligible, or was it like crying? Or was it just...
amazing time. And by the way, I was like, don't give me the mic, JJ. Like, don't give me the mic. But I was like, thank you. Like, crazy crying. Honestly, crazy. Like, you probably couldn't hear anything I said, but oh God, it was so emotional.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts, Alan, on that?
I'm like,
the thing is, I like Daisy Ridley. I think that she did the job. She's a pro. And I never heard that story about the end of, I mean, she knows that she was polite about it. It was divisive for the both of those movies. I feel like Rise of Skywalker united everyone in disliking it. Everyone
it wasn't divisive. The Rise of Skywalker was not divisive.
That last one was not divisive. No one liked that movie.
The second one was divisive. I mean, I appreciate what she did there. Look, she wasn't 100% honest, but at least she didn't come off as political, as just saying the lines that the publicist gave her. I think there was an interview with Adam Driver a couple of months ago where where they talked about what he was sold about Kylo Ren and what ultimately came about. I mean, that definitely didn't feel political. It felt like he was just being honest, but being diplomatic about the way he said it. She's being diplomatic here. I guess enough time has passed to where they can, there's they can be a little bit more honest than they could have been in promoting the film. But I listen to all that. I'm racking my brain, trying to remember where these scenes were, the context of that kiss. I remember the kiss, but let's be frank, I've only seen Rise of Skywalker one time.
Same here. Rise of Skywalker is the only Star Wars movie I've seen once. Yeah. Once.
Yeah. And I remember the kiss, and I remember thinking, oh, why couldn't that have been, Finn?
The whole audience groaned. Yeah. Groaned. And when the movie ended, people walked out. It was like a death, like the upcoming Star Wars funeral that we're going to do on July 17th. I have another piece of video to show. This is a shorter clip from the Kelly Clarkson show.
Oh.
Where she's asked about the movie. I don't think it'll be a good movie. Realistically. Wait, I got to share the screen here. I don't have a lot of hope for it. I don't think it'll get made. There hasn't been a Star Wars movie in theaters since 2019, 5 years. And this is at least 2 years away. So what is this? Here we go. Real quick. Let's go.
So I just have to ask, because everybody's a huge fan of Star Wars. Do you have any kind of tease? I know you can't say too much, but
it is happening.
Solid news.
Yeah. I know the general story.
Yeah.
Which is very cool.
It's been a minute though since you've done something. Like, it's been like, how long since the last?
Well, what's crazy is time passing. It was like 11 years ago when I got cast.
That's
I was
right.
A baby.
You're still a baby, says your skin. You're welcome from genetics. Yeah.
So it's been quite a few years since I've been part of that
kind
world.
of cool to jump back in the role like that many years later, right?
Yeah. And also strange because I was the baby and now I'm like, oh, I'm going to go in as like, I got married and done other stuff and like I feel more like a grown up now.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
woman. Yeah, I like it. I'm excited. You have so many projects, and you said the one I want to mention real quick. You said, is it Magpie?
Magpie, yes.
That you're working on, and that's the one you did with your husband?
Yes, that is
Yeah.
premiering at South by Southwest in March.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So we don't get much there, but it's still a project being talked about. Alan, do you think that the Rey movie is going to happen?
Well, I think it's important for men to feel uncomfortable, so I think it will happen. I don't know. It's just everything about Disney. Again, I talk about politics versus being diplomatic. Everything you hear from Disney just feels like it's all being said for some political reason to appease the investors. It felt like that these announcements of the 3 movies was just to kind of appease people because they really have no idea what they're doing, and that they need to say something. And they've certainly done a bang up job with the promotion of this. I mean, you talk about it because they had the director of the Rey movie forced to make her own statement on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day or whatever.
Like when no one was doing press, she somehow comes out and is doing press. It's weird.
Yeah.
Weird. So
yeah, it wouldn't. It's weird. Okay, so I'll put it this way: wouldn't surprise me if it doesn't come out, and I don't think anyone would care or blame Disney for not putting one out.
Well, I mean, are they going to do a $200 million budget for a Rey movie? I highly doubt it.
Yeah, will Disney have $200 million to make a Rey movie by the time it comes out?